now, as yet more Hollywood stories hit the headlines this week, we're joined by our LA correspondent, Sam Rubin, with all the latest gossip. Good morning, Sam. Thank you so much for joining us. It's always a pleasure to see you. We've got to start with Lizzo. She's come back with a statement. But, Sam, what do these allegations consist of?
These allegations consist, Josie and Craig and all of the UK, good morning to you. Not a good morning for Lizzo. She stands accused. This is a lawsuit filed by three former dancers who allege that Lizzo was a bad employer, engaged in sexual harassment, weight shamed, and more. And Lizzo refuted those charges. Well, she put out a social media statement saying, "I am not a victim, but I am not a villain." And she essentially said what the ladies were saying was not true. We've heard from the ladies in response to Lizzo's statement. Here's what they said.
Thanks.
Initially, for me, it just further deepened my disappointment in regards to how I was feeling and how I was treated. The overall theme in all this is that our experiences were our experiences and our traumas were our traumas. And in bringing that forward, it feels like it was disregarded completely. It feels like we were made out to put out false allegations when that's not the case.
One other thing to note is a documentarian who worked with Lizzo a couple of years ago said her experience was absolutely horrible. And based on her own experience, she believes what these women are saying. Lizzo, always known for body positivity, this is something about Lizzo talking about just that.
I just want to say, I've been thinking a lot about suppression and the voices that refused to be suppressed. And I wonder, would I be standing here right now if it weren't for the big black women who refused to have their voices be suppressed? And I just want to say right now, if you're at home watching this and you are thinking about changing yourself to feel worthy, this is your sign to remain true to who you are.
We've got to say off the back of this that Lizzo has denied all of this, and she's issued a statement on her Twitter. Usually I choose not to respond to false allegations, but these are as unbelievable as they sound, too outrageous to not be addressed. These sensationalized stories are coming from former employees who have already publicly admitted that they were told their behaviour on tour was inappropriate and unprofessional. Where do you see Lizzo's future now, Sam?
Well, I tell you what, she's extraordinarily popular, and Josie, you've been fortunate enough to ever see her perform. Her live performances are amazing.
Amazing.
So I think this is sort of up in the air until this case goes forward. Will Lizzo confront these women in court? Are they looking for a check to go away? So this is not as damning as, say, the Ellen DeGeneres allegations, where Ellen essentially had to own up to the fact that they were true. We'll see what happens here. We're sort of in the middle of this right now.
But Sam, cancel culture dictates that you don't get a second chance. And the sources are many now, aren't they? And it's going to be harder for her to defend this.
You know what, Craig, that's often the case. And if more people chime in, again, I think that documentarian's remarks were very damning. But the example when people bring up cancel culture is the American country star Morgan Wallen, who was absolutely, utterly canceled, and now is the top country act in America a year later. So, you can be canceled and you can come back.
One man who's used to the spotlight over here, but he's taken himself off on his holidays for the first time, is Prime Minister Rishi Sunak. He's over in LA with his family. Do people know him over there? Will he be recognised as he holidays in Disneyland, Sam?
You know, as a practical matter, as he and his wife and daughters come to Disneyland, I don't think they'll be recognized, except for the likely security duty that will be following them around. Disney also has a policy for prominent VIPs that it's called backdooring. You don't wait in those long lines. You go through a different entrance for several of the rides. But I do not think that he is known. It was funny when I was thinking about the story, Boris Johnson, obviously, John Major or Michael Sheen playing any of the prime ministers. Those are names and faces known to us here in America. I think so far this new prime minister remains new to Americans and is not widely known.
He met his wife in Disneyland, didn't he? Isn't that where they met?
They met at Stanford. They met at university, but they have a great affection for California, and of course, he has a property here in Southern California.
Oh.
I'll tell you somebody who's gone up in my estimation, Sam. Taylor Swift. She's been dishing out the cash, hasn't she?
Josie, this is remarkable. Taylor, last night, literally the concert ended just a couple hours ago. First of 6 nights in stadiums here in LA. This is going to be a $1 billion tour, and as generous as she is talented. Taylor shelling out $55 million in bonuses, including $100,000 apiece to her truck drivers, of which there are many. It's an enormous tour. She's just added more dates. But here's the thing about Taylor that makes her unique from other artists. She's her own promoter. The London School of Economics phrase, she's vertically integrated. So she controls everything and is obviously a very generous employer. People in the rock and roll world say nobody pays like Taylor, and these bonuses are extraordinary. Also, these crowds are extraordinary. It's a hugely, hugely successful tour. In fact, I'm just reading the reviews from last night, which are all raves. A 3.5-hour show, and fans are just, you know, who doesn't love Taylor?
2 days on the internet, we finally got tickets. We finally got tickets for the concert. Good. It took 48 hours. It was great stuff. Interesting enough, if you're really kind to all your musicians and all that, they want to go touring with you. Guess who's one of the most popular stars over here to go on tour with? Ronan Keating, because he's so nice to everybody, pays everybody fairly, makes it a really lovely atmosphere. My mates who are musicians go, we love being on tour with Ronan Keating, the best one. So be nice and you get nice back, Sam. That's how it works, right?
I think it's true, and I think Taylor is sort of conducting a tutorial for other stars who could learn from her behavior, because sometimes tours can be grueling and awful, but if you've got a happy, well-compensated crew, better shows, smoother shows, and again, the audience reaction, beyond belief. Those 2 days, Craig, you spent trying to get the tickets will be well worth it.
Thanks, Sam.
Sam Rubin, always a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Thanks.